Good morning, Top Fan Rivalry followers. It's your boy Bill from Top Fan Rivalry. You got Jackson in the house. You know it's Friday morning, so you know it's time for the weekly review. Jackson, how are you doing for a Friday morning?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Just a long week, and I'm happy it's Friday.
You and me both, my good friend. You and me both. Let's get right into it. There's so much to talk about that happened this week. We got umpires that are managers. We got all kinds of just crazy stuff. We got a little bit of a brawl. Somebody got knocked the heck out and got the biggest suspension, after getting knocked out and squared up. But I'm not going to take any thunder away from Jackson if he's going to use that as one of his things. Jackson, what's your number one today?
I'm going to be the Braves homer. I know I've been doing
Oh,
that a lot recently, but let's talk about the guy who just tied Mr. Shohei Ohtani for the home run lead. Let's talk about Matt Olson.
Matthew Olson.
Yeah, so he had a stretch of games where he had like 11 straight games with an RBI. That puts him at 40 home runs, 101 RBIs. And mind you, it's only August 11th. But yeah, so he's just been on a roll. And a fun stat, in his last 42 games, he's got like 21 home runs and almost 60 RBIs. So he's just on fire. Bill, have you ever seen somebody hit the stretch like that before?
No, I haven't. Remind me again, because I know that Pete Alonso's kind of hitting his stride too. Remind me again, what's Matt Olson? I know it's high, but what's Matt Olson's batting average this season so
Uh,
far?
he's got it up to 267. So
Okay. Yeah, so it's legit. Like it's not just home run or nothing like Matt's
uh,
Muncy.
yeah, that's about where you want your batting average if you're a power hitter. I'd say the 260s is pretty good.
Yeah,
He's
very good. Very
he's
good.
he's striking out a ton, but he is walking a ton. He's got 80 walks, something like that.
Yeah.
So 73 walks. I say 80. We're rounding up. But to me, it's crazy that we might have a guy that will have 50 home runs, like 140 something RBIs, maybe if he continues to be hot, and he'll finish third in the MVP voting at best.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Baseball's weird, man. Baseball's weird, but yeah, Matt Olson.
Baseball is weird. So let me give you the flip side of that coin for my number one. Are you ready?
Yeah,
How about Freddie Freeman? Okay, as he has 156 hits last time I looked, which was Thursday, before he played. He has a 344 batting average, 23 home runs, 81 RBIs. He is on pace if he keeps this up to have the most doubles in Major League Baseball this season. If he keeps it up, he'll hit about 350, 360. He'll have 30 home runs with over 100 RBIs and over 200 hits. Talk to me,
he'll
Jackson.
he'll also steal like 20 bases.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So talk to me, Jackson. Is this MVP caliber season, or am I just being a homer?
I think it is. We talked about it last week. It's like we're getting to the point this season where Acuna and Freeman continue how they are. It's just we're just kind of sitting there going, who do you vote for?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
throwing darts at a dartboard. It kind of feels like.
It,
But
it
yeah,
feel, feels
it
strange, doesn't it?
yeah. I mean, Freeman's hitting 344. Somehow he's 25 points off the batting title right now
Yeah,
because Luis Ariz has been that good.
yeah.
But yeah, Freddie's having a monster season. Over his last 40 games, he's hit like 400 or something like that. So, you know, first the all around hitting first baseman's coming back into style, Bill.
There you
They're
go.
moving away from the 180 power guys. They're moving back into the guys that actually can put the ball in play.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, who you got for number two?
Let's look at the standings a little bit, Bill. They've changed a lot in
Yes, they
the
have.
last week. The both the NL and the AL wildcard have been shaken up a little bit. Some teams maybe falling flat out of the trade deadline, but I want to highlight how the Miami Marlins, after being atrocious for much of the second half, have snuck their way back into a playoff spot. They're entering a pivotal series with New York this weekend. But how about those Marlins hanging around? Who would have thought 116 games in the season, the Miami Marlins with a negative run differential, they don't score too many runs. They're hanging around in the playoff spot. The season ended today, Friday morning, I should say. they would be in the playoffs. What do
Yeah.
you think about Miami, Bill? What do you think about the teams that are sitting half a game out? So Miami, Chicago, and Cincinnati are all bunched together there. Who do you think has the best chance of making the playoffs
Out of those three
out of
teams,
those three? Yeah, out of those three.
okay. Best to make the playoffs or best to make the wild card?
Just make the playoffs in general. I guess wild. Well, let me rephrase that. Yeah, the wild card. Well,
Okay.
we'll leave the NL Central out of this.
Okay, so best to make the wild card, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
I like where you're going with this. I really do. Um, I would be surprised if Miami gets into the playoffs, it might be one and done because their pitching staff has not been awesome. Sandy Alcantara is, I think, 2-7 or 2-8, something like that. You remember just a season or two ago, we were talking about him as Cy Young. So it's too early. Uh, it might be an early exit for them, but I like it. I like where you're going with Marlins.
All
Can I?
right.
I'm going to piggyback on that. I'm making a prediction right here. August, I made it on my live on Thursday, August 10th. I'm making it on August 11th right now. The NL Central winner of their division is the North Side, the Chicago Cubs. They're 2.5 games out. They have 6 left with the Brewers. And they have got um, a very weak schedule in August. Teams that they should beat up on, like Pittsburgh, Detroit, and so they've got some opportunity there. So when you ask that question, Jackson, wild card or making the playoffs, I wanted to say Cubs, but you were still my thunder. So I said, well, what about the wild card, Jackson?
You,
So
funny you should mention the Pirates. The Pirates have actually played two really good teams back to back, really tough. They took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies, and they played the Braves really tough over a 4-game series and got a split. So don't be sleeping on the Pirates late August, early September. They're looking to play spoiler. Got a
they're
lot of
10
young
games out
guys.
though. They're gonna play spoiler, but they're 10 games out of that
Yeah,
division.
no, yeah,
They're not winning that division.
they're not winning the division, but they'll sure try to take as many games as they can.
Yes. And so for example, the Dodgers last night, on Thursday night, they started a series with the Rockies. And the Rockies always play the Dodgers tough. I don't care if the Rockies lose 100 games. 60 out of the 62 wins that they get that season, it felt like 18 of them were against the Dodgers back when we used to play 19 games with each team. It just drove me nuts. And the Pirates are going to be that team that does that. They're just going to go in and say, all right, we're probably not going to get in it this year. We're still in that rebuilding mode, but we're going to make a heck of a play and a heck of a push. So
Yeah,
let's see how it plays itself out.
it's their playoffs. If you're not going to make the playoffs, you might as well go with the playoff atmosphere and the playoff mentality when you play the good teams.
Yeah.
Because I think an underrated aspect of baseball season being so long, it's like, yeah, are there some meaningless games per se, that don't count towards the standings and the grand scheme of things? Maybe, but those players still have to play for a contract. They get paid based off their performance, and the young guys got to play well to stay in the big leagues. It's hard to stay in the big leagues, so
There is never a game that is not meaningful. Just ask Texas, who's battling with Houston right now. It's weird that you say Texas and Houston because yes, I know that they're in the same state, but ask the Rangers that are battling with the Astros right now how they felt on Wednesday night about getting shut out 2-0 by the A's. So every game counts. It doesn't matter. And A's have already lost 82 games or something like that.
yeah,
Doesn't matter,
yeah. That's why I
right?
threw it in quotation marks for you.
You didn't
Meaningless.
throw it in quotation marks.
Wow.
You were
Yeah.
just saying, just don't
Yeah.
stop with this quotation marks. All right. What you got for your number 3, Jackson?
My number 3, I shouted out the no hitter last week, so I'll shout out the no hitter this week. Shout out to Michael Lorenzen for the old school no hitter. 5 strikeouts, 4 walks, 125 pitches. Bill.
Yeah, no, he made it happen. That's for sure. He made it happen.
How,
So
how about Michael Lorenzen for the Phillies though? 2 starts. He went like 8 innings in the first one, gave up 3 runs, and then he throws a no hitter in the second one.
So I'm convinced that the baseball gods are angry at the Angels right now. I mean, he played for the Angels last season,
Oh, he
right?
stunk.
And he was terrible. I think he went like 7-7 or 8-8. And I don't know if you saw this guy on the post game on Wednesday. This dude looks like he could bench press Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know if you saw the post game interview with him with the shirt with the
Oh
no
yeah.
sleeves on it. I'm like, dude, you're ripped. This is ridiculous.
Pitchers are athletes too, Bill.
I was one. I know. Giddy up, giddy up. So, Michael Lorenzen. Okay. So for my number three, I'm gonna go. I feel like I've said this 14 times already on this episode. The flip side to this coin. So the flip side to this coin, Shohei got his 10th win on Wednesday night. Shohei is on pace right now to hit 50 home runs and have 13 wins on the mound. Absolutely breathtakingly numbers. Like it's insane what this guy is doing. It's not human, it's video game, right? It's almost the numbers that you would see if you were playing Xbox or PlayStation. It's crazy to me what he's doing, but hey, I'll take it, right? I mean, it's good for baseball. He will not be an Anaheim Angel next season, unless the unless the Angels are going to pony up some serious dough. But Jackson, what say you on this?
I mean, he's been really good. He dropped his ERA to 3.17. I think that's top five in the AL. Um, you know, yeah. I'm out of adjectives to describe Shohei Ohtani. I might need to invest in a thesaurus or a dictionary to maybe come up with some new ones, but he's been good, really good.
Yeah,
And the fact that he might have his best season ever heading into free agency, he probably feels pretty good about himself too.
what if he doesn't feel good about himself? What the heck, right?
Yeah, I think he's going to be one of those players that teams will try to replicate, where they try the two-way experiment. It's no one's ever going to capture the type of player that Shohei is.
Agreed. 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 Okay, Jackson, do you have honorable mentions today? You said you had a unique one before we started. What's your honorable mention?
My honorable mention is just more of a stat oddity. Um,
Okay.
so as you know, the San Francisco Giants have relievers who are twins, uh, Tyler Rogers and Taylor Rogers. Let me read you their stats this season. So they both have a Tyler has a 2.54 ERA. Taylor has a 2.52 ERA. Uh, Tyler struck out 45 batters. Taylor struck out 46 batters. One's 4-4. The other one's 6-4.
So is this like at the family get-togethers? Anything you can do, I can do better. I
Uh,
mean, it's kind of feels like that, doesn't it?
it does. And what makes me laugh is they both have a really unique delivery. They're both side armors. One's a lefty,
Yes.
one's a righty. So I just seeing that stats today. I mean, Tyler Rogers has 7 more innings than Taylor Rogers, so his wins above replacement's a little higher. But I think Tyler's the righty and Taylor's the lefty, so that makes a little bit more sense.
Yep. Yep.
But it's
Agree.
just baseball's so weird that two guys that are literal twin brothers have almost identical stats and a similar body of work.
Baseball gods, right?
Yeah.
So my honorable mention will go to I can laugh about it because it's not my team, right? Neither one of them are my team. I can laugh about it because it's comical. It's not good for the game that it happens too often. But um, if you've been sleeping under a rock this last week, you have not seen this. Otherwise, you have seen it in every meme and everything you could possibly think of. There is a baseball rule that says you never lose a game and a girl on the same day, right? You never get broken up with and lose a baseball game in the same day. There's also a man code. If you ever drop the glove and square off in a fight, don't get knocked out. So, hats off to Tim Anderson for not only dropping the glove and squaring off, but getting knocked out. And then after getting knocked out, getting the biggest suspension. Just saying, Jackson, awesome, right? I mean, doesn't that just capsize or put in a whole like realm how you I'm going to say this nicely, how unique the White Sox season is this season?
Yeah, I'm not going to delve into details. You guys can do your own research, but the kind of stuff that's coming out about how the White Sox clubhouse culture is, it doesn't really surprise me that something like this would happen. But
Me neither.
I think Tim Anderson picked the wrong guy to square up with. I think he should have just apologized to Jose Ramirez. For those of you who don't know, Jose Ramirez may only be 5'9", but he is 190 pounds. He is built like a barrel. And Tim Anderson, who's 6'1", is only 185 pounds.
Yep.
So it was a mismatch from the start. That's probably going to make the yearbook video for the White Sox somehow, some way. That's kind of the low point of the season.
You know that we're going to be seeing that for years, just like the Baptista getting his glasses knocked off by Odor, that we still see. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Shout out to Emmanuel Clase for getting suspended from coming out of the bullpen somehow, because usually the bullpen just kind of meanders around.
Yes,
on the edge, but he came in, he started going, I guess.
Yeah. And shout out to Aaron Boone for graduating umpiring school. And making sure that Lance Diaz knows where the strike zone is. Aaron, we appreciate it. If for some reason the Yankees let you go, by all means, I'm sure Harry or somebody Wendelstedt will let you graduate from their academy and let you be a major league umpire. So hats off to you, Aaron Boone.
Yes. A very, I don't want to call it was a wacky week in baseball. It's been a wild week.
Crazy week.
Post trade deadline, lots of weird stuff happened. It took the Angels 7 games to win. I think it took like 3 or 4 teams a whole week to win a game, which that
Crazy
itself is wild to me, that 4 professional teams took a week to win a baseball game.
Yep.
But
yep, it's true. It's true. All right, Jackson, I think we did good this week, man, and I appreciate everything that you do. I love the fact that Jackson's a stats guy because he brings it, and he brings it hardcore when it comes to the stats. So I just love it. I hope you're enjoying these on YouTube. I hope you're enjoying these in the locker room. Jackson, we have a new shipment of hats already in. And later on today, if you listen to this on Friday, look for the live that Top Fan Rivalry is going to do. We're going to do a live tomorrow. I'm sorry, not tomorrow, today. I'm getting my days all mixed up because we're going to Boston soon. So today we're going to do a live that is a free ship Friday. We're going to demonstrate some of the hats, new products, and things like that. So pay attention to that. We got Top Fan Rivalry jerseys, we got T-shirts, we got everything you can think of. So, and more to come. Jackson, is there a code that they want to use for this?
As always, use code Jackson, get 10% off and get your free shipping.
And your free shipping, code Jackson, all capital letters.
Now's
Don't forget to register. If you're in the Boston area, do not forget to register for the Boston Yankees watch party. It's at Scores on Canal Street in Boston. We have got a tremendous response of people coming in. We're going to be at the Phillies Giants game on Monday, the 21st, and possibly Tuesday, the 22nd. So let us know if you're going to be in town. Love to hook up with you, get a picture. We might even convince Jackson to come on down. But before we started filming, Jackson said, "Bill, I see you enough. I don't want to see you in Philly." I took it personal, y'all, but whatever. Jackson's Jackson, right? So, I mean, look at the hat that he's wearing. Does it look like he goes to Philly a lot? Come on.
I wasn't very welcome the last time I came around.
Jackson, thanks so much. We got another episode coming to you next Friday. We're excited about it. And so just keep watching them on YouTube. Share them with your friends. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're clicking on the bell so that you can be reminded when they come on. So appreciate you, Jackson. Let's have a good one, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah. Let's do this again next week.
You bet.